Hello and welcome to episode 44 of WITM. The card has been changed. Instead of another match between the AA Hardcore Cruisers and hashtag DIY, it is now in the main event Andrew versus Hideo Itami. Falls Count Anywhere, rekindling their rivalry from ECW Velocity in Season 2. So let's get this Velocity started. We start off with a promo from Cedric Alexander when Finn Balor defeats TJ Perkins and Andre Almas in a triple threat match. Jack Gallagher defeats Cedric Alexander. Ariya Daivari in his first match. I just downloaded his call. I believe he's the only person on the main roster or NXT in real life that I did not download before. He just debuted on the main roster tonight in real life on Raw, and now he is a part of WITM on NXT and Velocity, so I believe we now have a call of everybody that is on the main roster or NXT in real life. Drew Gulak defeats Tony Nese. Brian Kendrick defeats Akira Tozawa. Alright, and in our main event is Andrew versus Hideo Itami. And this is a fitting main event because this was most likely the most prominent rivalry of ECW Velocity. And the reason why this is fitting is because this will be our final ever Velocity match. Because in real life we are with, of course, the McMahons, or rather the Shield representing the McMahons, defeating the Purity Society in the Season 2 finale to keep the McMahons in complete control of the WWE. We now try to do things as realistically as possible. And in real life, WWE now has their own Cruiserweight show, or will in a week, called 205 Live. We will be transitioning from Velocity to 205 Live in WITM as well, and this will be the final Velocity of the second package of DVDs. Starting with the third package, our Cruiserweight show on Saturdays will now be 205 Live. It will still be the same roster, still focused around the WWE Cruiserweight title. Still, the Cruiserweight Classic competitors will compete on NXT and 205 Live, and the main roster competitors like Andrew that are 205 pounds and under will remain on their main show, as well as 205 Live. But we will be transitioning from Velocity, which was kind of a placeholder anyway that we came up with for our Cruiserweight show name. I know Velocity was a SmackDown minor show in the past, but we'll be transitioning from Velocity to 205 Live to stay in pace with real life WWE. So, in the main event of the final Velocity, we continue, or we revisit an old ECW Velocity rivalry. It's the Cruiserweight Champion Andrew versus Hideo Itami, Falls Count Anywhere, and it's only fitting that, and it's not the most empowering song, whatever, but for our final Velocity, if we're doing a song that has to do with flight, songs have to do with flight or speed or velocity or something like that, we have to do the following song. It's I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly.
We got one-on-one action coming your way next.
Gonna be good.
We have a real fan favorite versus a formidable opponent. I love it.
I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing just believe it. There's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring. From Grand Rapids, Michigan, weighing in at 165 pounds, WWA Cruiserweight Champion,
Singles action, I like to remind everyone that you can follow us at halftime. Don't wait to check out training. Worldwide. I think I'll tweet about it right now. Of all the raw matches I've seen over the years, and that's a lot, I'm willing to bet this one will rank right up there with the absolute best.
and his opponent from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 180 pounds, Hideo Itami.
This match is going to be exciting. I can almost guarantee it. Millions of people watching this raw match all over the globe right now. So guys, no pressure.
Alright, so 2 men with some history. We had our final ever main event under the Velocity name. It's Andrew versus Hideo Itami. If you think back to Season 2, you could argue Hideo Itami was the catalyst for a lot of things that happened in WITM Season 2. It was on Velocity. Andrew was taking on the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose. Hideo Itami would interfere, causing Dean Ambrose to get distracted and get counted out of the match, wanting to seemingly join Andrew and Austin Aries in the AA Hardcore Cruisers. Andrew would respond by attacking Hideo Itami backstage, leading to his heel turn and the reformation of the Purity Society. And of course, you know the rest. These 2 men have had serious bad blood ever since, and that rivalry continues into this incarnation of Velocity and into 205 Live. Andrew with a bulldog.
But he's not appearing too worse for wear, at least not yet anyway.
Reversal by Itami. And a knee sends Andrew flying.
Well said, John, and now's the time
Itami to the apron.
to take hold of this match.
Wants Andrew to get to his feet. Drop kick from the apron by Itami. Andrew rolls out of the way to evade the stomp. And a nice reversal there by Andrew.
Impressive
And follows up with a series of roundhouses. Now mounted punches.
Take a look at that. We haven't seen that one tonight. I love something new. How much damage did that do? A lot from the looks of it.
Andrew looking for a springboard attack of his own, but misses with a springboard splash.
Complete with a big stomp. And these guys are throwing bombs. They're pulling out. Wow, look at this hold. There's no way that.
Now Itami with a submission locked in, but Andrew is able to reverse that pretty fast into a drop kick.
What a punch.
Punch by Andrew. Irish whip into the corner.
And Hideo Itami reverses it.
Reversal by Itami. Now Andrew back on the attack. Irish whip into the corner. Into the other corner. Clothesline and bulldog. Forces Tommy to his feet. Rolling knee bar locked in. Andrew had a single arm and leg locked in for quite some time earlier in this match. Can he make his rival Hideo Itami tap out center of the ring in the final ever Velocity match? No, Itami is able to break the hold.
He's starting to sweat now. With these two guys, we all knew this was going to be an all-out battle. And Michael, this might
Itami with a nice head scissors goes for cover.
Hideo Itami looking to finish this one early. He's got
And Andrew powers out at 2.
You're right, he kicked out with ease. Great reversal.
Reversal by Andrew. Swinging neck breaker.
Itami may be running out of gas here.
Andrew getting low on stamina, goes for cover. And Itami powers out at 1.5.
He just won't go away.
Was going for the ground elbow strikes, but Itami's able to break it up. Kick by Andrew. Itami forces Andrew working hold position. Earning Consummate earns the cheers of the WWE Universe. Forces Andrew to his feet. Going for his comeback sequence now. And the crowd getting behind Hideo Itami. He does his comeback successfully. Forces Andrew to his feet. Into the corner. Andrew in a bad position. Seated in the corner. And big drop kick by Itami. Goes for cover. And nearly a victory for Hideo Itami. You know, he would love to. Andrew brought Velocity back. This is Andrew, the final ever match of Velocity. And Hideo Itami would love nothing more than to spoil this moment, this historic moment for Andrew.
That stop might have only lasted a second, but it's going to be felt tomorrow.
Stop by Andrew. Reversal by Itami.
Guys, he's going to have to turn things around quickly if he wants to win this thing.
Roundhouse. Irish whip into the corner. Backstabber by Itami. Goes into a cover. And Andrew powers out at 2. Itami looking for the ground elbow strikes, but Andrew reverses. And now thinking flatline. And that connects. Center of the ring, goes for cover. And in the final ever Velocity match, Andrew is victorious. Alright, so historic moment. The final ever Velocity. It was Andrew that came up with starting Velocity, giving the Cruiserweights an opportunity to shine. In ECW, that was largely, with the exception of Andrew, dominated by the big men, the powerhouses, Brock Lesnar, Batista, Ray Wyatt. And now, Velocity is no more. The Cruiserweight division will continue, starting in the third package, following Money in the Bank with 205 Live. Same wrestlers, same concept, new look, new name. And so that means officially now, with Velocity being no more, the very last remnant of Andrew's ECW is no more. That was the final nail in the coffin of ECW. The only thing whatsoever that still remains and was the same as ECW was the fact that Andrew is still Cruiserweight Champion, and he would defend that title at Money in the Bank. But first, before we get to Money in the Bank, where Andrew will be in action, Serena will be in action, and most likely Corey will defend his Intercontinental title, it is now time for the next round of, for the next rankings update. Alright, we start off on Raw. We'll start off with, well, I was going to say the women, but it looks like the women were not in action on Raw, so we'll start off with tag teams. The Hype Bros defeated Blake and Murphy, so Hype Bros and Blake and Murphy simply switched spots 6 and 7. And Enzo and Cass defeated the New Day, so Enzo and Cass remain the number one contenders. The New Day falls to number 4. Jericho and Owens move up to 3. And that was it for tag team action. In singles action, Zack Ryder, surprisingly, right now the number 1 contender to the United States Championship. Alright, so Andrew defeated Curtis Axel. He moves up to number 15. Axel falls to number 20. Titus O'Neil defeated The Miz, Kurt Hawkins, and Baron Corbin. So since The Miz was involved in that match, Titus O'Neil is going to move up 2 slots to number 11. The Miz is champion, so he cannot fall. Kurt Hawkins in the demotion danger zone moves down to 18. And Baron Corbin moves down to number 3. Dolph Ziggler defeated Jack Swagger and Braun Strowman. So Ziggler moves up to number 5. Strowman falls to 13. And Swagger falls to 17. Brock Lesnar defeated Darren Young. Brock Lesnar is, of course, a Universal Champion. And Darren Young falls to 17. But Swagger lost as well, so... And so did Hawkins, so they'll just remain in the same slot. And Bray Wyatt defeated Rusev. So Rusev falls to 8. And then we also need to update Wyatt's ranking in the Universal title picture. So Wyatt moves up to second contender. Andrew is still the number 1 contender to the Universal Championship, so we could see Andrew in action for the Universal title at Money in the Bank. Very real possibility. Keep in mind, too, that there is the possibility that Corey or Andrew participates in that 6-man Money in the Bank ladder match as well, for the opportunity to, of course, become Mr. Money in the Bank. Okay, we move on to SmackDown. In women's action, we had Eva Marie defeat Charlotte. So Charlotte is going to move down to number 3, which means Charlotte falls out of that representing SmackDown Live in that 6 women's ladder match for that SummerSlam women's title match, and so SmackDown will now be represented by Becky Lynch and Aaliyah. Alright, and women in tag, we had Cesaro and Sheamus defeat American Alpha, so American Alpha falls to number 5. That's it for tag action. In singles action, Seth Rollins defeated Kane and Roman Reigns. They're the top 3 contenders to the WWE Championship, so Rollins will remain number 1 contender. He'll likely get a rematch against AJ Styles for that WWE title. And Kane and Roman Reigns each fall. So Reigns number 4 rather, Kane number 3, and Finn Balor moves up to number 2. But Finn Balor did defeat Randy Orton, but Rollins won as well, so they will remain 1 and 2. Alright, and then in the Intercontinental title picture, Roman Reigns falls to 8, losing in that triple threat involving Rollins and Kane. Kane falls to number 3. And then AJ Styles defeated Jinder Mahal, so Styles moves up to number 2. Mahal reigns at the bottom at number 12. Finn Balor defeated Randy Orton. He remains number 1 contender. And Corey defeated Sami Zayn, so Zayn is going to fall to number 4. So it looks like we may see Corey versus Finn Balor. And being at a pay-per-view, that means we will see Finn Balor in full Demon King attire taking on Corey for the Intercontinental Championship. That'd be an interesting clash there. The Holy Warrior versus the Demon King in full Demon King mode for the Intercontinental title. Alright, we move on to NXT. In women's action, we saw Serena defeat Peyton Royce. Looks like Anna has fallen all the way down to number 6 just with that loss to Ember Moon. So Anna will no longer be one of the women representing NXT in that 6-woman ladder match. It will now be Serena and Ember Moon representing NXT. So that was a crushing defeat there for Anna, dropping from number 2 all the way down to number 6 with 1 loss. And she'll actually fall down to number 7 with the rankings update as well. Alright, so Serena defeated Peyton Royce. She's at the very bottom at number 8. Ember Moon defeated Anna, as we mentioned before. Ember Moon now the number 1 contender to the NXT Women's Championship. She will also be part of that 6-woman ladder match representing NXT along with Serena. And Anna falls to number 7. In tag team action, Sanity defeated the Revival, so Sanity moves up to number 3. The Revival falls to number 6. Surprisingly, they're at the very bottom of the tag team rankings. And Enzo and Cass defeated TM61, so TM61 falls to number 5. Enzo and Cass are NXT Tag Team Champions. And then in singles action, Hideo and Tommy defeated Bo Dallas and Rich Swann. And Tommy's already number 1 contender. Swann falls to number 15. And Bo is already at number 25. And Roderick Strong defeated Brian Kendrick. So they'll switch spots. Strong to number 4. Kendrick to number 5. And that does it for NXT. For Superstars, the later show of Raw. Kurt Hawkins defeated Baron Corbin and Jack Swagger. So Hawkins moves up to 18, 2 Swaggers for per spot. So they'll switch spots, and then Baron Corbin falls to number 4. The Miz defeated Braun Strowman, so Strowman falls to number 14. And then in tag team action, Enzo and Cass defeated Gallows and Anderson. They're already the number 1 contenders. So we move on to main event. SmackDown. On the SmackDown Tag Division, American Alpha defeated the Ascension. So American Alpha moves to number 4. The Ascension remains at number 6. Alexa Bliss defeated Aaliyah and Alicia Fox. So Bliss up to 4. Alicia Fox is already at number 7. And Aaliyah will fall out of that number 2 slot, being in representing the SmackDown women in that 6-woman ladder match, which means Charlotte will, along with Becky Lynch, participate in that 6-woman ladder match representing SmackDown. And also Sami Zayn defeated Jinder Mahal. So Zayn moves up to number 3. Mahal remains at number 12. Alright, and then on Velocity, Finn Balor defeated TJ Perkins and Andre Almas. So Balor moves up to number 1. We may see Finn Balor take on both Corey and Andrew, as Balor is the number 1 contender to the Intercontinental title and the Cruiserweight title. So we might see 2 matches for the Demon King against the best friends, Andrew and Corey. Corey for the Intercontinental title, Andrew for the Cruiserweight title. Perkins falls to number 8. Almas falls to number 11. Then Jack Gallagher defeated Cedric Alexander, so Gallagher up to 17. Alexander falls to 17, so Gallagher actually goes up to 16. And then Arya Daivari defeated Sin Cara, Neville, and Rich Swann. Daivari moves up to 3. Sin Cara is already at 21. Neville will remain at 20, and Rich Swann falls to 14. Drew Gulak defeated Tony Nese. So Gulak up to 12, Nese down to 16. And Brian Kendrick defeated Akira Tozawa. So Kendrick up to 5. Tozawa down to 10. And Andrew defeated Hideo Itami. So Itami falls to number 5. Now we can take a look at Money in the Bank, co-branded by Raw and SmackDown, plus 2 women from NXT competing in that 6-woman ladder match. Alright, so it's going to be a very busy night for Finn Balor. He's going to be taking on AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. Emma defends her Raw Women's title against Asuka. Enzo and Cass defend the Raw Tag Team titles against Gallows and Anderson. The Miz defends the U.S. title against Zack Ryder. Corey, despite Sami Zayn losing that non-title match, defends the Intercontinental title against Sami Zayn. Andrew getting a Universal title opportunity against Brock Lesnar. And a 6-man ladder match consists of John Cena, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and Rusev. So it looks like we do not have and that's all Raw competitors. So it looks like the SmackDown men will not be getting a Money in the Bank ladder match. So maybe at WrestleMania. So we really don't have room to add one. I don't really think we can have 2 Money in the Bank holders at the same time anyways. So maybe perhaps at WrestleMania or somewhere in the future, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, we will have a 6-man ladder match for the SmackDown men. So it's going to be the Raw, 6 Raw competitors getting a Money in the Bank opportunity. And somewhere in here we are going to have to put the 6-woman ladder match. We'll likely do that in the place of Emma versus Asuka, and then have that match and then rebook that match on Raw. Is most likely what we would do. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that match booked, as that will likely be the match we will start with. Alright, so which 6 women will be participating in that 6-woman ladder match? Representing Raw, it's going to be Asuka and Sasha Banks. Representing SmackDown, it's going to be Becky Lynch and Charlotte. And representing NXT, it's going to be Serena and Ember Moon. Alright, so lots of important action for 3 members of WITM. Serena. Ember, the Warrior Princess, okay. So, Serena, Ember Moon. Charlotte. Becky Lynch. Asuka. And Sasha Banks. Alright, so there you have it. Your card for Money in the Bank features 3 WITM matches. A 6-woman ladder match. The winner will go on to face either the Raw Women's Champion, that is currently Emma, or the SmackDown Women's Champion, that is currently Eva Marie, at SummerSlam, and a stipulation of this match winner's choosing. Huge opportunity, especially for Serena and Ember Moon, to become a main roster champion in that match. So it's going to be a SmackDown Women in 6-man ladder action, and the Raw and 6 Raw men. Or rather, the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT women and 6 Raw men. Corey, so that will be our episode 45 match. And episode 46, Sami Zayn, despite taking the loss in the main event of the last SmackDown Live, did impress enough to get an Intercontinental title opportunity, since Finn Balor will be getting a WWE title opportunity. That leaves Sami Zayn open for this Intercontinental title shot against Corey. And then Andrew getting another Universal title opportunity against the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Of course, two men with some history in ECW. Brock Lesnar shattering the ribs of Andrew twice. Now these two men face off one-on-one for the Universal Championship. So, episode 45, Serena, Charlotte, Asuka, Ember Moon, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, 6-woman ladder match for a SummerSlam title shot. Episode 46, Corey versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. Episode 47, Andrew versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. That is our Money in the Bank WITM matches. And those will be the 3 matches. I'll wrap up the second package of DVDs. So until episode 45 and our 6-woman ladder match, this is Corey signing off.